Hey everyone, Gobotch here, back today with a brand new news video today for Warface Breakout. As I just woke up today, this Sunday, and it's they dropped this article on playbreakout.com that was not posted anywhere that I saw, but thankfully saw some of this floating around on Twitter this morning when I first got up. So I figured out let's just jump in here. Let's cover this news and developer update today because I actually do think this is pretty big. Needless to say, because this is developers update on the community suggestions. So today we're just going to be discussing all of the changes that may be coming this year and next year that are suggestions from us, the players, the community here for Warface Breakout, which I think is just huge, y'all. We can't understate that enough. The community is being listened to by the developers, and some of those changes will be coming in game this year and next year. So let's jump into all the news of the developer update today on our suggestions. I thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up and comment down below with your thoughts on these changes coming to Breakout in the near future. So let's jump in. It says this. It says, last week we encourage you to share with us, which is your suggestions on how to improve the non-technical aspects of the game. We have received quite a bunch of your feedback and have discussed it with the developers. Let's see what we can implement and when. And this is what it says. Will be introduced in the nearest updates. So here's something that is coming up. These are coming up quickly, they say. So number one, harsher penalties for ruiners in hardcore. Our suggestion, the community, we said, you want a more severe punishment for those leaving the match. You also want a system of penalties for team kills when after the first kill of an ally. All subsequent damage dealt to the teammates returns to the players. So does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? All Rainbow Six Siege. So if you leave a match, obviously you're gonna get more severe penalties as you go on throughout the match, and then after you kill an ally once, every time after that, there's more damage, you take that damage as a return. So that's straight out of what we do with Siege. That's what the feedback of the community said. Here's what they said about that. We will introduce a new system of punishment in the nearest update. We will see how it goes and if you are satisfied with it. If not, we will continue improving the system until hardcore matches become a place for competitive matches, not for team killing for fun like they are right now. I don't know if you're like me, but it seems like almost every match in hardcore lately has been full of people just trolling and trying to team kill and quit, and it's just ridiculous and honestly something that can ruin the game in the long term. Number two, something coming out quick, they said would be, suggestion was nerf SMGs and auto pistols and boost shotguns. So the suggestion from the community said this: you'd like to see a greater variability regarding the use of weapons. At the moment, most fights are duels on SMGs, the SIG MPX, the Desert Techs, the LWRC, while in the first round players are always using the auto pistol. Besides, you always ask to boost shotguns, especially the T1 and T2, the tier 1 and tier 2 shotguns. So here's the feedback from the developers. They said, we'll introduce changes to the meta from time to time, but we'll try to be very careful with those changes. It will not be very sensible to nerf the SMGs to the ground at the moment when you just started to get used to them and before the season starts, which I thank them for that, because that would be a huge pain in the butt to try to get used to a new meta right before ranked gets going. They say, however, some balance tweaks will already be in the next update. We'll start with decreasing the price of some ARs, and that is something I suggested a while back and I thought would be huge, because if you look at it, if you look at like the top tier SMG, the LWRC or the Desert Tech, that costs 2,500 credits. And then if you look at the bottom tier, tier 1 AR, it costs 24 or 2,200 credits or something like that, which is just ridiculous that some of the most powerful guns in the game are cheaper than some of the worst ARs in the game. So that's good to see that they're going to be decreasing the price of some ARs and paying attention to meta changes over time. So those are two things that they said will be coming in the nearest updates. Now going down the post, they say these are things that will be introduced later this year. This year, meaning 2020. That's fantastic. Let's see what they got to say here. So number one, separate statistics for each weapon type. The suggestion from the community said you want to track your performance with every weapon, KD, headshots, It may be a good idea to add a statistic to such gun characteristics menu in the customization options. One way or another, it is important to offer such statistics so that you can track it and show it off to other players. So the feedback from the developer says, actually, we haven't thought about separate statistics for each weapon before, and this sounds like a very nice idea to us. We know that it's very important for you to track your performance no matter what you do, and we'll be adding new trackable stats into the game, including separate statistics for separate weapons. So there you go. Community from the feedback, the community feedback is paying off, y'all. Again, that's something I got to say about my games. This developer, they're very upfront with the community. They're talking with the community very frequently within the Discord and whatnot. And that's huge for me. I love detailed statistics. That's something that I thought that Valorant does really, really well, and most Call of Duties do very, very well as well. So I'm very excited to see that they're going to be adding in weapon stats for everything. I really hope they eventually add in map stats and maybe even post-game map tracks so you can kind of see where the hotspots were on the maps. I think that would be something that could be really cool. Hopefully they can figure that out, but look forward to that coming later this year. Number 2, they say crossplay. Again, I talked about this day one. I thought crossplay, if they ever get it out here on consoles for this game, that could elevate this game to another level and really is what this game needs. Crossplay between PS4 and Xbox. The suggestion from the community, you want crossplay between the consoles. Perhaps even a console v console game mode. Heck yeah. Where players from one platform can compete with players from another platform. Yeah, it might be a bit frustrating when you want to play with your friends, but they own another console and there is no crossplay yet. So the community feedback was right there. Here's what the developers have to say. Surely crossplay will be there. It requires quite a large amount of development resources though, so we are planning to introduce it in Q4 this year. So that means that's like winter, fall. By the end of the year, you know, that'll be one of the last things of the year that gets out there, which is fine by me. Take your time, figure it out, get your game fixed and everything, and then let's roll out that crossplay and let's get this game bigger than it's ever been before. I think that's huge, so look forward to that by the end of the year. Moving on to number 3, callouts for tactical action. So our suggestion said this: you want to be able to use callouts to indicate movement across the map because otherwise random players stand absolutely no chance against well-coordinated teams communicating via Discord. Absolutely. Or a team chat, obviously, on Xbox or PlayStation, whatever. So the feedback from the developer, they say, this is something we're introducing first thing after we fix the most technical issues. This is indeed a very important party for any tactical and competitive shooter. So we're planning to get it done by Q3, so fall time. Moving on to 4, they say training mode hideout. The community suggestion says you'd like to have a certain training ground where you can shoot, test sights, skins, throw grenades, even perhaps with a friend. Here's what the developers say. This is something we should have introduced with the game release. Hey, look at that, man. Again, very upfront. They're aware, but they said this is something that should have been out there with release, yet decided to move it to a later date. The hideout will appear approximately in Q3 and will be improved and updated in Q4. So training mode and hideout will be eventually into the game come Q3, and then Q4 will be updated. Now, big one here, custom rooms. It is possible to create a custom room with custom settings and train here. We need this setting later to organize game tournaments. Here's what the developers say. This is a very important feature we'll definitely introduce, but not now, at a later time, closer to the end of the year. So think probably Q4, maybe late Q3. Here's what number 6 is here: region lock and ping lock. Your suggestion: prohibit players with high ping to access servers when users with low ping are playing. Ask for permission if the player is going to be transferred to another server, not the one they have chosen initially. Here's what the developers say about that. Not quite sure about the ping lock. This one will be a bit complicated to introduce, yet the region lock is possible. Once we fix most of our issues, we'll introduce it as well. So region lock is something that is doable, that they'll probably be doing here sometime this year, but ping lock is not something they're quite sure they're going to do because it is a bit complex. I do think region lock could be a really good thing. Ping lock doesn't really seem accessible at this time. I think there's other things they should fix and work on first. Now, the last thing they say here is number 7 is accessibility options. The community said this: we should add subtitles for all actions as well as different color schemes to make the game more comfortable for everybody in the community. And the developers say this: our aim is to provide a comfortable and smooth competitive experience for everyone. So accessibility options is something we'll need to have to ensure it. We're aiming to introduce them in Q4. They said this: naturally, these were not the only suggestions that we wrote about. We received a lot of useful feedback on various game mechanics and new modes, as well as some future tweaks. We have noted all of these suggestions. We'll use them in our plans come later this year to make our game better and more enjoyable. Thank you for the support. Yours, Warface Breakout Team. So that's the post, y'all. Again, something I woke up to and I thought was very, very exciting, because not only does this show that this game is going to continue to grow forward in the future, but it shows that the developers of this game are listening to us, the community, and they're taking our feedback and they're trying to make this game better for us that are sticking to it and working towards for it. So that's awesome to see that today in this post. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown today for it. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Comment down below with your thoughts. Let me know what you're most excited about to see fixed or changed based off our feedback, and what other things would you like to see this developer do for Warface Breakout to make this game just that much better. Let me know down in the comments. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day as always, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Y'all take it easy.